Fire outbreak kills one in Kano. Abducted corps member driver regained freedom in Zamfara. Court strikes out 22.8 billion naira fraud charge against ex-chief of air staff. And on the foreign scene, prime suspect in deadly Kenya gas blast appears in court. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in detail. A fire outbreak has led to the death of a 4-year-old Abubakar Sani, popularly known as Musaddiq of Yakase, lying in Maimai in Kano Municipal. The public relations officer of the State Fire Service, Saminu Yusuf Abdullahi, who confirmed the incident, said the victim was trapped inside a room but was later rescued unconscious and moved with his father to Murtala Muhammad Special Hospital for medical attention, where he was later confirmed dead by the doctor. Abdullahi confirmed that the fire was ignited inside a room when the victim was playing with matches. He said that the victim was handed over to his father, Sani Hussaini, at the hospital for burial, according to Islamic rites. The rearrangement of a Kano housewife, Hafsat Sani Suraj, and 3 others accused of complicity in the murder of Nafiu Hafizu before a Kano State High Court was on Tuesday stalled. Hafsat was accused of killing her house help, Nafiu Hafizu, while the 3 others are accused of concealment of murder. Defense counsel Huwaila Ibrahim Muhammad applied to the court for adjournment to another date. The defendants, Hafsat Suraj, Dayabu Abdullah, who is Hafsat's husband, Adamu Muhammad and Nasidi Muhammad, were initially arraigned before a Kano Chief Magistrate Court presided by Justice Hadiza Abdurrahman. The defendants had given false information to the deceased family that Hafizu died from pile surgery. During the first arraignment, Hafsat pleaded not guilty to the charges after confessing to the police that she single-handedly stabbed Nafiu severally on parts his body when he tried to stop her from committing suicide. Her rearrangement was slated Tuesday, February 6 at the High Court, but was stalled as the prosecution counsel substituted the first charge sheet with another one.
The provision of the law is that when a defendant is brought to court for arraignment, he needs to be given adequate time to study the charge and for his lawyer to advise him so that he may plead accordingly. This was not done today. The charge was served on the defendants this morning. Therefore, the defendants raised the issue that they need to study the charge, discuss with their clients, and advise them accordingly. And the judge ruled in their favor and set the date for arraignment to Thursday, 8th February 2024.
Now away from Kano State, a prospective member of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) and a bus driver who were kidnapped in Zamfara State on August 17, 2023 have regained freedom. The victims were among the 8 fresh Akwa Ibom State graduates that were abducted on their way to the NYSC orientation camp in Sokoto State. They were traveling in an AKTC bus to Sokoto State for the mandatory National Youth Service Program for Nigerian graduates. Announcing the release in a statement on Monday, the NYSC spokesman Eddie Megwa said the rescue followed joint effort with the military. This brings the total number of prospective corps members already released to 5, and the NYSC spokesman has made this known. He said that efforts were ongoing to ensure that the 3 remaining captives, 1 female and 2 males, regain their freedom as soon as possible. Now, officials of the Lagos State Task Force have arrested over 51 persons, and it's a notorious member of a gang involved in hijacking of trucks on state highway in the state. And the suspects are accused of harassing as well as extortion of members of the public. and truck drivers along the Apapa-Oshodi and Lagos-Badagry Expressway were not an exception. They're accused of coercing truck drivers to part with money under the pretext of working with the defunct Lagos State Parks and Garages Agency. The Director of Press and Public Relations of the State Task Force, Badeon Abdurrahim, said that the gang operates in a manner that suggests that many drivers have been physically harmed. The chairman expressed disgust at the manner the suspects wreak unnecessary havoc on the highway in the name of parks and garages, despite the official pronouncement of the ban on the activities of the agency late last year. Judge Lawyer revealed that the 51 apprehended suspects have been charged to court, where 8 out of them pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 7 months imprisonment with an option of a 65,000 naira fine. The remaining 43 pleaded not guilty, adding that their hearing adjourned till the 1st of March 2024. There was pandemonium at the popular Mile 3 DOB area of Port Harcourt on Tuesday when 4 suspected fleeing armed robbers rammed into a trader who had displayed their goods for the day's business. A trader in the market, who simply identified herself as Rachel, said that they were in the market when they saw a Sienna vehicle with 4 occupants brandishing gunshots with their heads out of the windows of the vehicle. According to Rachel, there was chaos as the armed men sped into Bishop Okoye Street whilst being chased by police officers. Reports say some people sustained injuries as the gunmen destroyed traders' goods in the process of escaping police, and another trader said that the gunmen were intercepted and arrested at Abuja Olu Obasanjo Road in Port Harcourt. When contacted, the spokesperson for the River State Police Command, SP Grace Iringe, confirmed the incident. SP Koko said that the fleeing armed robbers were apprehended by detectives attached to the Olu Obasanjo Police Division, adding that one of them fled. The Federal High Court in Lagos on Tuesday struck out a 22.8 billion naira fraud charge against former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeshola Amosu, and that 2 others of the Air Force chiefs were also involved. And Justice Chukwujeku Aneke set the military officers free while delivering ruling on their separate preliminary objection challenging the court's jurisdiction to try them for the alleged crime. The court held that Amosu and his co-defendants, Air Vice Marshal Jacob Bola Adigun and Air Commodore Gbadebo Owoduni Olubenga, could not be tried by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, because they were serving military officers at the time the alleged crime was committed. Air Marshal Amosu was appointed Chief of Air Staff on January 16, 2014, and he was removed from the post on July 13, 2015, 12 months before his arraignment in court. The defendants were first arraigned before Justice Mohammed Idris on June 29, 2016 by the EFCC and 7 companies. The EFCC accused them of conspiracy, stealing, money laundering, concealing of crime proceeds, and converting funds belonging to the Nigerian Air Force to their personal use around March 5, 2014 in Lagos. They, however, had pleaded not guilty to the charge. Now, the federal government has renewed the suspension of commercial flights from Niger Republic to Nigeria, from Nigeria to the nation's northern neighboring country by the Economic Community of West African States resolution. This resolution was put forth by ECOWAS in response to the event in Niger Republic on July 26, 2023, when the democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted in a coup and replaced by the military junta led by General Abdurrahman Tichani. And this directive was contained in a letter titled ECOWAS Restriction on Republic of Niger from the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA Aeronautical Information Services, dated February 2, 2024, and signed by the Director of Air Traffic Services, Tayo John, on behalf of the agency's Managing Director and Chief Executive. The Director stated that by ECOWAS resolutions, all commercial flights from Niger to Nigeria, or from Nigeria to Niger, or from Niger overfly Nigeria, or by any state overflying Nigeria to Niger are suspended. It added that these restrictions do not affect overflight aircraft through Niger airspace, aircraft in a state of emergency, and special flights. South Korean ambassador to Nigeria, Kim Young, has emphasized the importance of investing in agriculture to bolster the country's economy and address insecurity challenges. He made these remarks during a visit by Media Trust Group management to Korean embassy in Abuja. Dr. Yakubu has more details on this report.
Ambassador Kim Yong-chae attributed Nigeria's security issues to food insecurity, underscoring the necessity for the government to prioritize the agricultural sector for economic growth. He further urged the government to create job opportunities to accommodate Nigeria's massive population.
Each year, Nigeria adds 10 million people. 10 million people each year. So every 5 years, you add 50 million people. 10 years, it's huge. And then you have to feed them. Right? Feed them. You have to educate them. You have to train them. And then you have to give them jobs. But your economy cannot do that. That's why we have all sort of secret problems in Nigeria. You have to self-sufficient in food consumption. In order to achieve that, you have to help farmers to be more efficient.
Expressing gratitude for the peaceful environment during his 3-year tenure in the country, as he calls for proactive economic reforms to address unemployment and other structural challenges facing Nigeria.
You can make it. You can make it. And at the same time, please don't forget Korea, even if we are far away. And, as an ambassador, I want to see more interactions between our two peoples, between our two governments. Also, maybe we can also have some MOU signing ceremony, and then we can have an invitation program, and we can provide some materials.
Ambassador Kim Yong-chae expressed optimism about collaborating with the Media Trust Group and Nigeria as a whole in the future. Dr. Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is a news update, and coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Makadi residents calling for urgent intervention to address dilapidated infrastructure. Details of this report and more after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is a news update on Trust Television. A recap of our main headlines. We told you earlier that a fire outbreak kills 1 in Kano. And abducted corps members, driver regain freedom in Zamfara. And moving on to more news, the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has hinted on the need for residents to pay tax for infrastructural development in the state. Wike, who gave the hint during he's inspecting the resurfacing and remedial work on existing roads in the metropolis, underscored the crucial link between taxation and infrastructure development in the nation's capital. Habibat Ajayi has more.
The resurfacing existing roads and remedial works around Maitama, Gariki and Tako in the Abuja Municipal Area Council covers no fewer than 189 sites as part of the ongoing infrastructure development drive of the FCTA. The Executive Secretary of the Federal Capital Development Authority gives an overview of the projects.
This is the district center of Maitama, and it has been rightly defined by the Executive Chairman. Maitama is a high-growth district, and therefore we need to bring to the attention of substantial number of residents and other motorists plying roads within Maitama.
The chairman of AMAC thanked the minister for the project and called for swift completion of previously abandoned projects.
Under which Maitama district is located, I will be visiting what we ensure that the implementation of this project is strong and timely. We are commend and support you in your transformation agenda in OCT, which is the brainchild of the new head mentor of Mr. President.
Wike, in his remarks, says he expects the contractor to deliver the project accordingly to specification, or risks having the contract revoked.
Now we are making sacrifices for those things that I have done before. We are willing not to do it, so there are being conveniences for you. And these conveniences will not take a long time. So make sacrifice for us. We are willing to do the work. So these few days, we have had some kind of traffic problem. So those where you used to take them 2 minutes, it took them 14 minutes. It's part of the sacrifice.
He says, with an understanding of the role of taxation in shaping communities, residents will have a heightened sense of civic duty and a shared commitment to building a better future. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from the Federal Capital Territory now, commuters in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have called for urgent rehabilitation of the popular old bridge that connects the southern and northern parts of the state. According to them, the dilapidated bridge has become a death trap, which is, if it's not fixed, will lead to avoided loss of lives and property. Jimmy Azande reports.
The popular Makurdi Old Bridge was the first to connect the southern and the northern parts of the country to rail and road transportation. Residents say the once beautiful edifice has been abandoned by successful governments in Nigeria.
This bridge is terrible. From the north bank axis to the southern part of the bridge, it's just horrible. If you go beneath the bridge, you will see that the whole thing has, it has been washed off. So I just wonder how long it will take before it finally collapses.
This side and the other side has several potholes. So we as praying if God could give person that will aid us, not necessarily overhead bridge and whatever, but they should construct this one for us so that it will be easier movement for us. The bridge newly was very fantastic movement. It is only this time that is causing go slow and then causes a lot of accident. And we are afraid riding on the bridge, but it's the easier movement to our office. Shortcut is here. And that is what made we are still moving on. But we are praying if they could construct this for us, it will be easier for us than moving from New Bridge to the other side. Here we move easier to Government House.
Apart from its deplorable condition, they say the bridge has become a breeding ground for criminal activities.
This is the first road that links north to the south that has been neglected. Government upon government. This one has come now with a different approach. So we are happy. This is supposed to be fixed. We'll be happy if this is fixed. It will help cartel, criminals and hideout won't be here. I'm also calling for government to see if there's going to be a mobile base here within this place. And also as of North Bank, mobile base within here. If this is done, it will be very, 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 very good for the people of Benue.
The once reliable shortcut has now become a terrible idea for residents who live by the river banks and travelers.
Having a challenge of, as in those hoodlums, those criminals around, at times they will come and steal someone's handset. On that process, they will even kill yourself. So we need a government, if they can construct that street lights, I think it will be even very easier for us, and it will even help the community as well.
Some people, they are afraid to follow this road because there is no security, number one. Then number two, there is no development. Then number three, the road was condemned. We need for help.
Like the Kasnala and Makurdi new bridges, the old bridge calls for urgent rehabilitation and security for optimum utilization. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted dust haze from Tuesday to Thursday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released on Monday in Abuja forecast thick dust haze to reduce horizontal visibility to 1 kilometer or less in the northern region on Tuesday. According to NIMET, moderate dust haze with a horizontal visibility range of 1 kilometer to 3 kilometers and localized visibility of less than or equal to 1 kilometer is expected over the north central region and south during the forecast period. The agency envisaged thick to moderate dust haze on Thursday to reduce horizontal visibility to 1 kilometer or less in the north and north central regions during the forecast period. And according to NIMET, moderate dust haze with horizontal visibility range of 1 kilometer to 3 kilometers and localized visibility of less than or equal to 1 kilometer is expected in the inland region of the south throughout the forecast period. The agency anticipated early morning mist or fog patches over the coastal areas of south, with patches of cloud in the hazy atmosphere later in the day. And away from Nigeria, the main suspect in a deadly gas blast and blaze in the densely populated area of Nairobi has appeared in court in Kenyan capital, Nairobi. 6 people died in the disaster and around 280 others were injured when a truck loaded with gas canisters exploded in the Embakasi neighborhood of the city late Thursday. Derek Kimati, who police said entered the illegal gas depot where the disaster occurred, was escorted by police to a court in Nairobi on Tuesday wearing a black beanie and face mask. His lawyer has previously said Kimati would cooperate with the police but denied that he was operating the site where the blast took place as a gas filling plant. Kenya's Directorate of Criminal Investigations had announced earlier the arrest of Kimati along with 3 officials from the National Environment Management Agency, NEMA, who are accused of culpability over the tragedy. And officials from the National Environment Management Agency have been accused of wrongly giving a license for the LPG filling and storage plant in such a densely populated area. According to local reports, Nairobi Governor Sakaja Johnson ordered the closure of all gas businesses operating in residential areas across the city. And now in sport, Favour Fili, the Nigerian sprinter, has set an African women's indoor record in 300 meters after she dipped 35.99 seconds at the NB Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. She becomes the 10th fastest woman ever over the distance as she finished behind Gabby Thomas of the United States, who won 35.75 seconds. And recall that she was the 2021 World Under-20 Championship bronze medalist in the 200 meters and the African indoor record holder in the event. She also holds Nigerian record, also at Under-20 level over the distance, with a time of 21.96 seconds, making her the first Nigerian woman in history and second African woman to break the 22-second barrier. Her compatriot Toby Amusan also broke her own African record in the women's 60 meter of the indoor Grand Prix, running a blazing 7.75 seconds to finish second. Quick starting Tia Jones was a winner in 7.72 seconds, while Devine Charlton got third in 7.76 seconds in about 1 week, and Amusan has run 2 African records. And with that, we have come to the end of the news at this hour. For more, please follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.